Rogers Stadium exploded with cheers when Taehyung suddenly made a phone call gesture toward Jungkook. It wasn't just a joke. Taehyung then said the words that made thousands of ARMYs immediately scream, "Jungkook, I love you." Jungkook, who was standing beside him, instantly laughed and looked embarrassed as he received the declaration of love. Taehyung only smiled even more, as if he enjoyed watching his lover become flustered on stage. The screams of ARMYs echoed throughout the stadium as the two looked at each other in the middle of 0 o'clock. The moment instantly turned the atmosphere of BTS's Toronto concert into something incredibly romantic. Taehyung seemed to turn the song into a special love message for Jungkook in front of thousands of people. Meanwhile, Jungkook tried to remain professional, but his shy smile only made ARMYs even more excited. One gesture, one "I love you," and thousands of ARMYs immediately became witnesses to a romantic Taekook moment. ARMY, welcome back to VFX. Today we've got another exciting update you won't want to miss, so stay tuned until the end. Taehyung makes a phone call gesture and says "I love you" to Jungkook at the Toronto concert. The atmosphere at BTS's concert at Rogers Stadium in Toronto, Canada, was suddenly filled with cheers when Taehyung made a gesture as if he were talking on the phone. The moment happened while BTS was performing 0 o'clock in front of thousands of ARMYs. With a gentle smile, Taehyung then directed the gesture toward Jungkook, who was standing not far from him. Not stopping there, Taehyung was heard saying the heartfelt words, "Jungkook, I love you." Jungkook, who was standing beside Taehyung, immediately showed a reaction that made the atmosphere even more exciting. He laughed while appearing to hold back his embarrassment after receiving the romantic gesture. Jungkook's smile grew wider as Taehyung continued looking toward him. The brief moment quickly became one of the main highlights for ARMYs at the venue. Many felt as though they were witnessing a sweet moment between the couple in person. Taehyung seemed to be thoroughly enjoying the part of the song he was performing. In the middle of the performance, he seemed to intentionally turn 0 o'clock into a special message for Jungkook. His phone call gesture seemed to symbolize his desire to always stay connected with his lover. Taehyung then gave Jungkook a meaningful look. Jungkook could only laugh while lowering his face shyly. Jungkook's reaction made Taehyung smile even more on stage. The two looked very comfortable showing attention to each other, even though they were standing in front of thousands of people. Taehyung glanced toward Jungkook several times during that part of the song. Meanwhile, Jungkook seemed to try to stay focused on the performance while holding back his smile. Their simple interaction made the atmosphere of the concert feel even warmer. 0 o'clock itself became an even more emotional song during that moment. Taehyung performed it with a gentle expression, as if every lyric carried a special meaning for someone very close to him. When his gaze returned to Jungkook, ARMYs immediately caught the romantic impression of the situation. Taehyung's small gesture seemed to become a message without needing many words. And Jungkook was the person who most clearly understood what he meant. Amid the excitement of Rogers Stadium, the two briefly seemed to focus their attention on each other. Taehyung looked relaxed as he made the phone call gesture, as if he wanted to tease Jungkook in front of everyone. Jungkook responded with laughter and an expression of embarrassment that was difficult to hide. The moment lasted only briefly, but it was enough to make the fans scream. Their chemistry once again became a highlight throughout the performance. For Taehyung, that night's stage was not only about completing a performance. He also seemed to want to express his feelings to Jungkook in a simple yet very clear way. The words "I love you" directed toward him made the moment feel even more personal. Taehyung then continued his performance with a smile on his face. Jungkook still looked shy after receiving the unexpected surprise. Jungkook himself looked as though he was not really prepared to receive Taehyung's attention so openly. His laughter sounded light, while his expression showed an embarrassment that was difficult to hide. From time to time, He looked toward Taehyung before returning his focus to the stage. That response only made ARMYs even more excited. Many considered Jungkook's reaction to be the most adorable part of the moment. The interaction also showed Taehyung's bolder side in expressing his affection for Jungkook. In the middle of a huge concert with thousands of eyes focused on them, Taehyung still made the gesture without appearing hesitant. He even seemed to enjoy Jungkook's shy reaction after hearing his declaration of love. For the two of them, the stage seemed to turn into a small space where they could tease each other. Meanwhile, the fans became witnesses to the romantic moment. It was no surprise that the moment Taehyung said, "Jungkook, I love you," immediately became one of the most talked about parts of the 0 o'clock performance in Toronto. The phone call gesture, Taehyung's gaze, and Jungkook's shy laughter created a series of moments that were difficult to forget. The two looked like a couple enjoying a small moment in the middle of a huge concert. Not many gestures were needed to make the atmosphere turn romantic. One gesture and a few words from Taehyung were enough to make Jungkook blush. In the end, the 0 o'clock performance at Rogers Stadium left a special moment for Taehyung and Jungkook. Taehyung seemed to turn the song into an opportunity to express his love for his lover. Jungkook responded with shy laughter, which made the moment feel even sweeter. Amid thousands of ARMYs and the glittering Toronto stage, their attention once again turned toward each other. That simple moment became a romantic story that fans continued to remember. Rogers Stadium immediately turned into a sea of screams when Taehyung made a gesture as if he were talking on the phone toward Jungkook. The moment happened in the middle of the 0 o'clock performance, which had previously carried an emotional atmosphere. As soon as Taehyung directed the gesture toward Jungkook, thousands of ARMYs immediately realized that the action was specifically meant for him. The cheers grew even louder when Taehyung then said, "Jungkook, I love you." The sound of ARMYs echoed throughout the stadium, even making the moment feel as though it had briefly stopped. Many fans could be seen raising their phones to capture Taehyung and Jungkook's interaction from different angles. Taehyung himself looked relaxed while enjoying the reaction and smiling toward Jungkook. Meanwhile, Jungkook immediately laughed and appeared to try to hide his embarrassment. Jungkook's reaction made ARMYs scream even louder. He appeared to lower his face while laughing, as if he had not expected Taehyung to say those words in front of thousands of people. Taehyung then seemed to smile even more as he watched his lover become flustered. Some ARMYs even began shouting Taehyung and Jungkook's names together. The romantic atmosphere became even more noticeable in the middle of BTS's performance. The moment also became one of the most recorded parts of the night by fans. From various sides of the stadium, the lights from ARMY's phones could be seen filling the stands as Taehyung and Jungkook interacted with each other. Taehyung's simple gesture turned into a huge moment because of the spontaneous reaction from the entire stadium. Jungkook, who was still laughing, made the atmosphere feel even warmer and more adorable. For a few seconds, ARMY's attention seemed to be focused entirely on the couple. When Taehyung continued his performance, the sound of ARMYs gradually returned to following the melody of the song. However, the energy from the moment could still be felt during the following part. Taehyung and Jungkook appeared to refocus on the stage, although their smiles were still visible. For ARMYs who witnessed it directly, the phone call gesture and the words, "I love you," became one of the sweetest moments of the Toronto concert. The moment made that night's 0 o'clock performance even more memorable. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.